Now I'm going to go through these to find the answers to each of the questions. So whenever I stopped right here and I said that we had to plug in a point to this equation and we would solve this as an equation, we're basically solving for b. So let's try to do anything that we can first. So 1/2 times 10 is 5. We have 17 equals 5 plus b. At this point we can figure out what 5 plus what number equals 17. Or we can do subtract by 5 on both sides. 17 minus 5 equals 12. So b is 12. I'm going to write that here. And now, since I know b is 12, I know my ending number, which is a. Number 2 says which point is located along the line. Luckily for us, we actually drew the line. Sometimes they might have you do this without drawing a line. -4, -5 is here. Right there. So that one's not exactly on the line. -5. Oh, I went to the wrong side, guys. -4, -5 is way over here. -5, -4 is here. 3, -4 is right here. Oh, right on top of one of the actual. Oh, I literally had the point wrote down, and it's right here. So if anybody caught that instead of actually drawing on a line, kudos to you. -3 and 4 is up here, so that one's wrong. The answer was C. All right, number 3. We stopped with this point. I drew a point way at the bottom. That was 2, -8. Let's just test out the others just to kind of figure this out. First of all, this slope looks like it's going down 3 over 1. So since we have a -3 slope, I can at least cancel out f because that was a +3 slope. So now I can look at the y-intercept. Do I have a y-intercept at -2? No, I do not. That is the wrong point, wrong line. This one has a point of 2, -4. So 2, -4 is also way down here. Yikes, great. So since we know that the point is 2, this one has a little bit extra stuff that we have to do to this. I can write this in y equals mx plus, y equals mx plus b. I'm using all my forms that I know to kind of help me out here. So here's this, y equals -3x plus 2. We can choose one of these lines to try to test out. I'm actually going to test out this one. And I'm going to have to kind of write small because there's a lot of work that goes into this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this equation and try to mimic or try to make it into this equation. What I mean is I'm going to use my equation solving skills to actually do things like distributive property. I'm going to have y plus 4. 3 times x is -3x. -3 times -2 is +6. And I keep going. I keep trying to solve things. So let's subtract 4 from both sides. And when I do, I have y equals -3x plus 2. And that totally matches with what I needed because that was written in y equals mx plus b form. So that must mean that G is my answer. If I would have actually tested out this number here, it would have not looked all the way like I wanted it to, and I'm just going to show you real quick what I mean by that. So it would have been y plus 8 equals -3x. I'm going to distribute those, and then plus 6. And if I subtracted 8 from both sides, I would get y equals -3x minus 2. And that is not the line that I have here. That is, I needed that y equals mx plus b. Alright, so let's look at the next one, number 4. I couldn't see all of what I was doing, but it's okay. You saw most of it. You saw what you needed to. Number 4 gave us the line. It gave us some y equals mx plus b, some point slope form, some standard form, and you had to figure out which ones which one was names of this line. You had a lot of work to do on your own. The easiest part to me would be the slope. So if I see dots here and here, I'm going to use the intercepts because the lines on this were really hard to see. So it goes up 4 over 2, which means my slope is 2. I can automatically eliminate that question. I can eliminate that one. And if I'm trying to find the slope from either of these, I would take a negative version of A and put it over B. So negative 6 over negative 3, which is a positive 2. So that one looks good. Then this one has a negative 2 over a 2, which is technically a negative 1. This one is not good for the slope. So I'm going to cross off this one, and this one, and this one. We do not have those. All right, next thing I could do is look for the Y-intercept. This one says we have a Y-intercept of 4, and that is actually very much accurate. So this one all the way is correct. It has a good slope. It has a good Y-intercept. And since I'm speaking of Y-intercept, let's go ahead and try the Y-intercept on this one. From above, my Y-intercept is C over B. So if I were taking C, which is negative 12, over negative 3, that equals a positive 4. So that one is good too, as long as the X-intercept is good. So let's test the X-intercept by doing C over A on this one, and that would be negative 12 over 6. Negative 12 over 6 is a negative 2, and our X-intercept is at negative 2. So this one is all the way good too. The last two we have to check are the ones that are in point slope form. Remember, we can pull out this point. This has an X, and that is the Y, and these are coordinates. So if this one is 2, 8, I can figure out if that point is along the line. I'm just going to kind of write it out over here for me. 2 is X, 8 is 8 is Y. So 2, 8 is here. Well, looking like it. That looks like one of our best bets. What about, oh, those are pluses. There's not supposed to be pluses. They're supposed to be negatives. So this point I'm pulling out is negative 4, negative 4. Negative 4 is here. That one actually looks good too, which means both of these are names of those lines.